Hello everyone, welcome back to the channel. My name is Jersey and today we are back with our Palworld base build, and now we are gonna be updating the temple. So we finished the big main house that I really wanted to be part of this base, but now that we got the new pieces, things are not looking as awesome as this. So we are gonna update the temple. Now, if you want to know how the first part of this temple, the way the layout is, I do have a video and you can go find it, and that piece that you see right there in front of you, we can build that, right? You can build it. So it gives you the plans. Now this video will be the updated, how we're gonna turn this into what you see in the thumbnail today. So now on the very top over here, I have all my energy equipment that's gonna power up this base. Now, something to know about me, if you've been following me for a while, I like to hide everything in my base. I don't want to see no equipment, no machinery. That's always the goal, because I always want a very beautiful and very aesthetic base, and that is the plan, and we're gonna continue that today. So on the very top of the temple over here, we're gonna hide all of this that you see here. I still need to get 2 more battery generators so I can have a total of 4, but we're gonna add that in the future. But I have all my squares right over here. So what we're doing is we're gonna be closing up each of the corners over here, since we don't have corner pieces, but with the new type of walls that we have over here with that little roof, we can make an illusion that we have some corner pieces for our buildings. And that's exactly what we're doing here. Now, when you're working on this particular updated and this piece of the build, right, there's some sequence that you gotta do it correctly. So as you're watching this video, don't forget that you can slow down the video right away, right? So you can slow it down on YouTube so you can kind of follow along a little bit better. Make sure to mute the sound so you don't hear me talking very slowly, but you know, that will help you a lot. But I want to say thank you to everybody that's been watching the videos, because that's really inspired me to really motivate myself to do a couple new things, and I'm very excited about the end, and I really love the way this temple really turned out. But as you can see over here, what we're doing 2 double rooms, because the corner pieces on the top, it just looks really awful. I don't really like just the wall by itself just yet, just with a plain white. So we are gonna continue. So we're doing a double. At first I want to look at it, I didn't like the way it looks kind of like single. It's still those corner pieces on the top just look kind of off to me. Now don't forget that that is my taste. So if you like something, make sure that you do it, because you are the one that's building in your base, so you want to make sure that you like what you're doing. But over here, what I'm doing is trying to work on the roof pieces, adding the rooms over here, and basically is we want to work on this side. Now the temple on both sides has 2 stairs that leads you all the way to the 3rd floor, and then the other 2 sides leads you to the 2nd floor, and then you got the bottom floor, right? So this is 1, 2, 3, and then you got the 4. Now the 4, you cannot get there unless you actually climb, you know, just climb by climbing the walls. But that one is just because it's all my electric equipment goes over there, and then the 3rd floor is going to be where we got all the bad stuff for the pals, for, you know, kind of so they can relax and all of that. I forgot the name of the item, oh my gosh. But there is on the very top floor, that's where we got all of that, and then on the 2nd floor is where we got all the beds for the pals, and on the bottom is where they're doing all the food for this particular base. Now a lot of the inner rooms we are gonna still tweak it. It's not the main priority on this particular video. We're just working on the outside, as you can see, but we're gonna be working on that to make it look really nice. But as you can see, after I finished the first top, now I'm working on the second. Since this is just remodeling what I already had, I was working it very slowly, and we're concentrating on one side. Once this side is done, then we're gonna go to the 2nd, 3rd, and we're gonna complete all 4 sides of this. Now again, I just want to mention that I'm not showing you on this video how to build this temple from the ground up. There is a video that I did a while back of this one. I'm gonna link it in the description. It should have been on the top on the very beginning of the video as well, so you guys can click on it if you want to build the main skeleton of the build, and then you can do the upgrade as you see it here. Or maybe you're really good and you can follow it from here out, but if you build the structure first, it's gonna help you a lot. Okay, so as you can see right over here, it took me a moment to understand the sequence of building in here in Palworld, because they're so picky. I'm telling you, they're so picky. So you gotta make sure that you have, when you build the two, put in the roof, so then you can put the wall, and then you can delete the bottom wall so the top wall is floating, so then you can then put the little roof piece and then the other roof slanting down. Now I am putting the two different roof pieces because instead of having a flat layout, right, it gives you that little triangle. It just gives it a little bit extra flair, and that's something that we want. Now we are replacing all the pillars that you see with the new one. That way everything is matching very well. And over here what I'm doing is, again, we're going all the way from the bottom to the second top, and this one's gonna have technically 3. Now we're not gonna put on the bottom of here, we want to leave that open. Now on some portion I was trying so many things and I did try it, I didn't like it, but if you want to bring the whole corner piece all the way to the ground floor, you can go ahead and do that, but I didn't like it as much. But as you can see, I just went ahead and did the 2 room just like we're doing on everywhere else, and doing the whole tier system. Again, you gotta put the wall as you can see right here. I keep messing up and I keep facing the wall on the wrong direction. It's like, why to do that? And here again, I forgot the rules of Palworld. You want to put the wall, then put the roof, like I'm doing right here. Put the roof, trying to figure out, there we go. Okay, we're gonna put the roof, then we can actually then put the wall on the top, then we can delete the bottom, and now the one on the top stays up. Once you understand that sequence, it's gonna fly by, right? But it took me a moment to really get the hang of it in this side, and then it gets a lot quicker. Now we are gonna replace all the stairs. We're gonna put the new the Japanese stairs because they got the little rails. It looks really nice. We want to make sure that we got like the corner pieces. There was again a lot of trial and error. I tried to edit a lot of it. At some portion there was a lot of chunks in different sections that I took out a lot, because I you know, we can make that. This one's already longer than the previous one because there was a lot of building to do in all the sizes, and it's just, there was, you know, for just upgrading the building, it took forever. But okay, but as you can see over here, I'm trying to put the wall here so I can then put the stairs, so I can put that second piece triangle there. Again, there is a lot of rules in Palworld in the building. You know, if it lets you put it here and then you put it the other way, why do we have to take everything else so we can put it like right here? Like right now, I gotta take out stairs, I gotta take out this so I can add the other stuff. It's one of those things that it's not fun. It's completely not fun. But as you can see right over here, we are moving the beds because this is something that we need to do, because now I need to put support on the inside, so then I can bring a wall all the way to the top so we can cover those little gaps on the side. So but it has to be a wall and a wall, because I can't do a triangle piece over there, so it has to be a wall. Now I did mention it earlier, for the inside of the room right here, this is where the pals all sleep. Now these are very functional builds. All the pals can go on the bottom, they will go to the second, and they will go to the third floor. Now again, I like to use small and medium pals just because I want to keep a nice aesthetic in my base. So like some of the biggest will be the ones that you see on screen right now. Like that's probably the biggest size that I will go. I know everybody can walk, I know everything will be good, and that's something that I personally like. I know some people like to use the big ones. So if you do the big piles and you want to do something like that, and then if I have one square, the roof is one square, you know, from the floor to the top, it's just one. If you're doing the big piles, you gotta go 2, sometimes you gotta go 3. So your builds become gigantic, and it's really hard to maintain those and fit everything that you want in a base. So in my recommendation, when people ask me, you know, why do I make the bases that I make and how they can come out so good, it's because I really gotta sacrifice some of the coolest piles that you can actually put on a base I can't use those. You know, I can't use the coolest ones because I do want to be able, all the pals to be able to go in and out. 'Cause I think that's one of the coolest things, it being able to see the pals walking around the base and not just stuck and not doing anything. So to me, it is important, and that's why I use the small or medium pals to run my bases. But as you can see, slowly, everything is coming together, right? We got the side pieces now. We added the walls. Everything's looking good. Now we gotta follow the same rule on this side over here. We're taking the ladder. We add in the pillars because I do want all these extra pillars everywhere, because it just gives it, again, a little more flair, a little bit more touch. As you can see, I was able to add the piece, and now that we added the roof and the other, I can delete the sides. Now, eventually, I added the sides back at some point. I just felt like, you know, but instead of just the wall, I just added the triangle pieces. At first, I was gonna leave it because it feels like you can walk underneath the stairs, but it didn't feel natural. So at some point, when we do the final walkthrough, you will see it. I just kind of take it off. Now that we finished the halfway through this building, now we get to the other side of the corner, and we gotta follow all the same rules. So we're doing the 2 rooms, 2, 2, 2. As you can see, now I'm getting a little bit quicker. It's nice when you can get quicker like this. You're doing the 4, and then I'm gonna add the roof. That means once I add the roof, now I can delete the bottom of the wall. You see how that stays up. I can add the roof and then add the slanted roof, and ta-da! And you see how much quicker we're getting. And that is part of it. The more you build, the quicker you will get. But again, you gotta try many different ways to when you're building in Palworld, because you're gonna try to do something in Palworld, Palworld's gonna tell you no, and you think that you cannot do it, and you gotta try every single way possible just to make sure to see if you can do it. But as you can see, everything is coming together very nicely. I like the way it's shaping up. I think this update is gonna look really good. I did a little test run right over here to see if I like it more with the brown or with the green texture tile that is coming now in. I do like it with the green, so we are gonna replace all the walkways all around the temple. The ones that are wood, we're gonna replace it with the new green one. So I think it just looks a little bit nicer, but I'm not gonna just show that. So that part is completely deleted, so that way it's not a big deal. But yes, now in the middle of the square, as you can see, I am leaving glass. I think I like the look of the glass. If you don't like the look of the glass, feel free to add some of the other the Japanese walls, whichever one that you want. Maybe you want the windows, maybe you want another type of door. I like the glass. I wanted to do something different when it comes, because originally I really like the idea like the walls were glass. Now there's a lot of adjustment now, because this is now has more normal walls. So, but I really wanted to be able to see. It's kind of like the pals want to look outside. So when they're doing the relaxing in the bath, in the little bathtubs, you know, they're just there. So imagine like they can look out. I really like that. And when you stand there, you feel like you see the outside. But and then the outer wall, you got all this part of the temple. It's just, I like it. So if you like it, you can leave it with the glass. If not, then just feel free to replace it. And now that we are starting all over again, here we go again. Now that we finished one side, now we gotta do everything the other way again. Now I will mention it again. If you make it to this point of this video, don't forget that the original temple design, it is made into a video. You can go over there, you can check it out, you can follow it, so you can build the temple, right? You can build it, because this is from an updated point of view. I didn't want to delete everything because I would not get it the same way. I would have to like follow my own video, and then it would take it so much longer, and I needed to be built so I can do the updated, because I didn't know how I was gonna update it unless it was already built. So, and this type of builds right now, since this one is updated, there is no point of taking it down and try to rebuild it when I don't even know how they updated this, because this is a lot of trial and error just to see what's gonna work well. But as you can see, we're adding the stairs, we're doing this. Now, this section I didn't notice, but I messed up. This section was only supposed to get down, supposed to go only to the 2nd floor. I went all the way to the 3rd, but we fixed it eventually. You will see that in the video. I left it in just in case, but this was a mistake on mine. It was only supposed to go to the 2nd floor, and I took it all the way to the 3rd. Accidents happens, right? Accidents happen. But I really like the way this is turning out. The way that the base is turning out is looking really nice. Now, in this base, one of the reasons we're building here is because we can get oil, right? And we got one of the machines that is running oil. But I'm gonna be honest, I hate the look of it. I just hate the way I look at it. I don't like the way it's been bothering me since I placed the machine down, because we're trying to build a very beautiful aesthetic base, right? And I like to hide the machinery, I like to hide the assembly lines inside the building. That's the whole point, right? If I'm gonna build a base, then I want to put the machines inside the buildings. Like right now, I got 3 assembly lines and you don't see it, and they're all here. They're all here, right? They're in one of the other buildings the other third building, the little fortress that we gotta also update. So that's gonna be another video, so you can still see the original design. You can build that, and then we're gonna work, hopefully next weekend we're gonna work on the next updated building, because there are some changes that need to be done so it can fit the aesthetic of this base now that we got all these new items. But I like to hide my assembly lines. I like everything to be functional. I want the pals to be able to access and get to it. So it takes a lot of planning, and I'm very proud that we can make all of this work, right? But then that oil machine down there is ruining it. It's ruining the view, it's ruining the aesthetic. And throughout this video, the whole time, in my mind, that's bothering me. That's bothering me. I know it's bothering me, and I didn't know what I could do about it. But I'm very proud to say that with a lot of trial and error, a lot of, trying very hard, we were able to disguise it enough that you can see it, but we built around it, and we built something beautiful. And I think is for the future expansion in that center of the area, I think we're gonna do something special, something good, and I'm excited for that, the way that's gonna turn out. I got some ideas, but we gotta work on the other building just to make sure how much freedom do I have in the middle, so we can do all the other stuff. And I like the way this base is turning out. But as you can see, if you're following the video, maybe you already mute the mic, because I'm not explaining what's going on over here. But what's going on over here, I'm just, again, it's a lot of repeat of everything that we're doing, except the stairs, right? If we are facing the side that has the two going to the second floor, then it's a little shorter, and the roof on the top is longer. See, this one is going all the way to the third floor, so you can see all the way to the top. And now we're facing the other way as well over here. Now, and like I mentioned, that other side needs to actually go to the second floor. Even though it's going to the third, it's going to the second. Now this one is one of the official main entryway towards the base in here, right? So this is like the main entrance. So this is what you're seeing in the thumbnail. This is the side where we got everything, and then it leads you into the base. So this is one of the main entrances. That we got the entrances that are coming from the sides of the house, and then you got the Parthenon, so people can come in that way. But if you were coming from somewhere technically official, this will be the entrance. So we want to make sure that this side looks really, really nice. So again, this one will lead you all the way to the top, leads you to the third step, to the third story. My gosh, to the third story. And yes, and as you can see here, again, everything that we did on the first time that you're watching this video in the very beginning, that's what we're doing. Now, it was hard for me. I didn't know if I needed to show every single side. I decided to do it. I know it makes the video longer, but I was like, you know what? Some people want to pause, some people want to take screenshots, some people work out of screenshots, so they pause the video right now, they slow it down, and then take screenshots so they can build it. So I seen the comments, I seen what people do, I seen what people write me, and they like that they can see a lot more of the stuff and how it's being done, and all the trials and errors sometimes. So I'm grateful to do it. But and when it's very repetitive like this in every side, then I just gotta talk about other little things, right? And like the future plans that we have for the base, or what we did with the oil machine. But yeah, but as you can see, we are, again, don't forget to change every single pillar. Each of the corners is always going to be 2 of the little wall sizes. I hope that they keep adding more walls. it'd be great to have half walls. It'd be great to have different style of slanted. Now I would like now an updated pack of the wood pack or the stone pack, that the roofs are not flat, that they have a little tile texture, because I think that is helping so much, right? Just that extra other roof that we have, but it has a little triangle slanted. It takes away that ugly flatness when we're building. That's why we always gotta use the slanted roof instead of the flat roof, because it's too flat. It just makes everything look like a box, and we don't want that when we're creating houses. So yeah, so we're over here in the third top. So you can see I got two of the new machines over there that are helping the sending those waves. So I put it like right in the center. Again, all the one of the reasons that I put them all way up here, because I want it to be out of the way, but it is functional. It is electricity that is reaching to the whole base, but I really like to hide that stuff, and I didn't want that to be in the ground. I didn't want it to be in a room. I don't want to see it. I just wanna, I know I need it, so we just hit it all the way in the top. So I hope this really inspires you too. I know building a Palworld can be a headache, and it's complicated sometimes, and sometimes it's just easy to put things down. But if you take your time, and if you do a little planning, or if you watch this type of videos and you get the idea, grab the inspiration, imitate it as much as you can, duplicate it if you want to, imitate half of it. But I think you can make a really nice base that you can plan. Now, one of the biggest tips that I can give you is take your time. There is not a hurry to move everything into your base so quickly, right? So plan ahead, work on one building at a time, make sure that your vision is working, and as you're building your building, think about the machines that you want to put in there. To me is one of the most important. I remember when I was building this first temple, I knew this is where I was gonna have the pals sleeping. I knew this is where I'm gonna have the food, and most likely the electricity, and it actually worked out. Now we do have an extra floor that actually worked out really well, and we were putting the hot spring. There we go, that's the word, man. I keep saying the bathtub, the hot springs, and it worked out great, and we got this layer system. Don't forget that when you build in Palworld, if you can go high, make a second story, make a third story, you can fit a lot more things in your base. I think that is a great way. I love that we can build high and high and high. So if you want to have another story, make it happen, right? And add more stuff. Now, as you're building, if you want your pals to really be functional in your base, think about the pals that you really want to have in your base. That is another key element. I know that I'm always going to use small or medium pals. Yes, sometimes they're only level 1 or level 2. Sometimes you get those level 3 and you get lucky in a medium size. Know that you can have the best one sometimes. And if you want the best one, then try to accommodate them in the build. So if they're tall, do some tests, see if they walk behind it. When I'm doing my builds like this and I'm doing the stairs, I'm testing every single time before I close the doors, before I do everything else. I want to make sure that the pals can get to where I want them. So always make sure that you're having the pathing, make sure that you're having the walkways clear, and test it out before you do the whole build, and then you realize that and you add the pals and they can't make it in there. So, that is another tip that I can give you when people ask me, how do I make it all work? How my pals can go in the door. I'm building it, might not work. Well, please just make sure that you're testing. Sometimes you don't have the right pal, and that pal will not work in that, and you may have to swap it out. I've encountered even small pals that I've had, like for watering and all of that. They don't want to go in that door. But then I put another pal, same size, water, and it goes inside the door. So I don't know why, but there are some pals that work better than others. So it's up to you. If you really want to see the pals walking and going inside the rooms and do all of that, then yes, you may have to use smaller pals, or if you want bigger ones, then accommodate to that. Now I'm coming over here. Now we're fixing up my mistake. This is when I noticed it, so we're fixing it. As you can see, really easy fix, because it's just basically we're just adding the roof. So that was really nice. And then we are changing all the the wood into the green tile. So as you can see, now I'm not going to show you changing all of that, but now what I wanted to do is we need to add some greenery. Now the thing with Palworld, as you know, we talked about in the last video, we have no extra flowers, we don't have no trees, we don't have things to plant. So this right here, this particular item, it has rocks, it has water, and it has like these palm trees. Now the palm trees may look a little off in maybe in a Japanese setting like this, but I do want the extra greenery, so that's what you see me working on. So what I'm trying to do is kind of push it in, kind of clip it in. I want to have two sides. The palm trees are going to be facing the corner, so I'm not too much worried about the entryway of this right here of the hot spring. I'm just kind of putting it the best way possible. Right here, don't forget, sometimes you gotta just take the piles out. I waited too long, and we are in a speed build video, and look at this. I thought I edited this part out, but maybe I missed it. I really thought I edited this out, so I apologize that I didn't edit this out. I was waiting for those people to move, but as you can see, finally one move, and I put in there. Now this is gonna clipping a little bit into the side of the stone. I really gonna like that. We got the corner, and now again we're gonna add some of this other trees, the one that we used to harvest the wood. We're gonna utilize this. Now you gotta play around. I am trying to clip in a lot of this stuff. Will let you clip inside the other build just a little bit, and it's weird. Sometimes it works better than the other way, don't know why, but as you can see over here, I'm finding where I can actually clip it in, how far I can do it, then I bring it back, push it this way, and then I added this extra greenery. And that is part of the point. I just want the base to look beautiful and not just so empty. So now I'm gonna redo this hot spring right over here again, because I kind of want to clip it in now a little bit the opposite way and have a gap on the other way. And I was able then, because of the gap, we were able to manage to add a fountain. We were able to do a few things, but I left all of this in because I really wanted you to see it. Like sometimes it does let you clipping like right there. You see how we're now on top of the other side. That means that we covered the gap a little bit. It's just a little bit of nice scenarios right over here. But I really like the way this corner came out. I liked it so much that I decided to do it on the other side as well. Now, part of this temple is outside of the circle. Now, if you're building outside the circle, don't forget to change your setting that when you're building outside, it doesn't break down over time. I think that is a sad thing that is already there. I think it shouldn't even be there. I think that you let us build at any moment, at any time, because it's fun to build outside the circle, especially if you want to make your bases feel a little more alive. And that's something that I'm going to be doing with all the houses that we need to upgrade and make it feel like a little bit of a village. You know, those houses will be empty. They're not functional unless you want to decorate those extra houses. But I just want that when you look a little bit outside the base, it's not as empty. It feels, oh, look, a house over there, a building over there, and that's what I want. So now we're taking, again, all this section off. We're going to duplicate what we did on that side. We're going to duplicate it over here as well. Again, I'm going to leave all of this in. That way you guys can see it. Sometimes a little confusing when you're working in a different angle. And as you can see, it's really hard sometimes to put this thing in a way that works correctly, because there are no grids. You can't see it. Sometimes you can't see even if you have it straight or not. It's a little complicated, but I you know, sometimes it doesn't come out as equal or as perfect as the other side, but as long as it's very close, then I am happy. So I'm adding the trees over there, and again we're gonna have another hot spring, the big one over here. We're gonna try to clip that in over here. I am trying to facing the little statue that is pouring the water into the hot spring. I am trying to face it towards the stairs, and then we are gonna try to add again the fountain. Now these planters, this time I hope one day they give us more plants, even if it's like this, but different leaf, different texture. That'd be great, that'd be excellent. But I wanted to do the same thing on the other side. I really like that we can actually use this fountain a little bit elevated to make it look nice. I didn't want it to be on the ground. It was a little too low. So what I did, I put in the bench, then put you in the fountain. And once you got the fountain, now it's a little elevated. And now we're going to try to hide by putting all these plants in here. you just kind of camouflage it. It's okay. It's the same plan. Who cares? We're just putting all this greenery in here just to make it look really, really good because it's all about aesthetic. You see that oil machine? I hate it. I hate it. And the more nice this front and the base was coming out, the more I was like, you know what? At one point, I almost thought like, you know what? Do I need oil? Nah, I don't care. I don't need the oil. Let's just take out the machine. This base is looking too good to have that. But I was like, no, we need the oil. We need it. It's a resource. And what's the point of making a functional base if I don't have something that is very required, right? Very important to have. So now on the other side, and we're building outside the circle, you can't actually put the hot spring, those particular hot spring outside the circle. There are some items that they let you build outside the circles, others you can't. Now the large hot spring, you cannot build it outside the circle. So on the back side of the temple, what we're gonna do, we're gonna surround it with the tree, kind of what we did on the previous video with the house. We're gonna do that. I just need some greenery in here. It just doesn't look correctly. It looks empty, it looks bare, and I don't like that. So I am gonna add these trees, and we're gonna add them over here, and we're gonna go all the way across. So I'm gonna show you this section, and once we do this one, you're just gonna duplicate that on the other side over there, and it's just very easy. Just put them whichever way you want. I'm doing it this way. I'm facing the trees that they're facing on the outside, and then when people gotta, like, if you gotta harvest, it's gonna be facing the inside. Now we are actually gonna expand the roofing over here. We're gonna put beam just to make it feel a little more full, a little more like ooh. And I think I liked it. I liked it a lot. It's something that came last minute, kind of more spontaneous, a little more trial and error, but I do like the way it came out, so it makes me happy. Now, as you can see over here, some of this I am clipping together so they actually fit, and it's cool that they actually let you do that, so that is very, very nice. Now, where I'm standing on the top, we're gonna do that very simple. We're actually gonna add roof, and then we're gonna add beams that are gonna come down. I think it just gave it, again, a little bit texture. When it comes to PAL, we don't have a lot of stuff in Palworld. So you still gotta improvise if you want things to look a little more full, a little bit bigger, have a little more depth. When it comes to building, I think that's one of the most important parts about building is depth. You know, sometimes things look too flat, so you wanna create a little more dimension. You know, even if it's just extending the roof like what we're doing over here, to me it made a big difference, and I was like, I like this a lot. It just felt better. It's hidden between the trees, so it gives it a little bit more purpose to the tree. That back of the area that at first it would look empty, now it doesn't look empty, so it just helped out a lot. Now that I did that on one side, I liked it a lot, so I'm doing it around over here. You see how the beams are coming down even on top of the jacuzzi? There's a little gap. We're gonna fix that. We're gonna show you that in a moment. Now over here, again, from the previous video, if you're watching the original temple build, if you're watching that video, this section we're gonna redo it because now everything is changing now. And at first I like that because it just wasn't as boxy, but now I do want it boxy because the way the temple is built. Okay, so now we gotta work a little bit more on the entrance over here. So like I mentioned, I finished the trees, we extended the roof, so we did it all around, all four sizes. We extended that roof. I added a couple pillars in the sides over there. As you can see, I'm putting that statue. The only reason I had to put it there because the circle line is right in front of it, so I really wanted more in the middle, not so close to the stairs. I still like the look, but I couldn't do it anywhere else. I actually had to do it like right there, so because the circle line is right there. Now on the entryways, and this is technically the official entryway towards the village, the base, the temple, is a little more grand, right? So I'm adding all these banners over here. On the other three sides of the pillar, we're gonna add a little bit of vine, just add a little greenery. Now I still have not used the Japanese lantern because I gotta go on a big harvest run for the flame organ to make a lot of those. But I have plans to put some of those lanterns on top of the pillars over here. I want to put them across the building, across the house. There's still a lot of places that I want to use those, but it's not here yet, so I still have not used the lantern. People were asking me, people were telling me, hey, why you didn't use the lanterns? It's gonna be one of the last things I probably do, because they're just the lanterns, and once I know everything is put together, then we work on that. I really like the way this is coming out over here. I'm adding the other pillars that is missing on this section over here because I haven't done it. And you see how this is floating right on top of the hot spring area? So that weird gap kind of was bothering me, and I was like, wait, what about if I add the vines down here? And I was like, you know what? That actually looks really nice. You know, because it kind of hides the fact that it's missing a piece. And then I was like, you know what? If I can do that with the little one, what happens if I do it with the big one? You know, just to cover a little bit more of this area and add all this extra green. I really even love that idea even more. And I went ahead and put one on each four side. And now when I did this, to me, I was like, oh my word, I love this so much. I feel like with the pillars and you doing this, it kind of like you create this fake bush. And that, once I did that, that really opened up my idea to hide the oil machine. So if you make it to this point, if you're listening right now, I'm very proud of you, by the way. Thank you so much for listening. Hopefully this section here got you really inspired now. But I was like, oh my word, I think I have an idea on how to hide the oil machine, because it just looks off. It just doesn't fit the aesthetic, right? So before I went over there, this section here was bothering me a little bit. So I was like, you know what? Let me do this little test run over here. I still want to do a little more greenery here. So I was like, what if I do the four sides again and make a fake bush with the pillars? And I was like, you got this pillar and all these vines are growing, but it kind of looks, it reminds me a little bit of Minecraft over here, right? Because the way the textures work, it really is like Minecraft over here, because they're not meant to be used like this. But I really like this, and I really like the way this looks. So then I tested one in the tall side over here, and check this out. And I was like, you know what? I like this a lot. I like this a lot. And I kind of put it in different areas where I felt like it needed a little bit more green. I think this is going to be a great idea for a lot of you that need a little bit of green, you know. So use it wisely, you know. I overdid it a couple times. I already took those sections out of this video because I was like, oh, this is so cool. You gotta be careful. You can overdo it and may not look good, but I really like the way it looks right here. I thought it helped a lot. So I was like, you know what? Moment of truth, I want to hide this thing. Now, this is one of those things, again, that depending where you're building your base, where you got your oil machine, oil extractor, you may not need it. It may look good. Maybe it doesn't bother you. It bothered me, so I wanted to hide it. Now, one of the things that I did, I was trying to go high first. I eventually took it out because it was too high, didn't like it as much. Now, you may like it depending where you're at. Maybe you have other idea. Let me know what you come up with. Maybe you have another clever idea. As you can see, the beans are too close. We're gonna fix this. We're gonna actually push them out a little bit so I can actually go all the way around at one point. But then again, this idea, it was the first try run. Now, I left this because I think the concept and the idea, I wanted you guys to see it, because I think the idea is great. And not just to hide this, but for other stuff in the future that you want to do. I got plans now. I'm like, yes, I'm going to use this more often. Very carefully, very tasteful. You know, I don't want to overdo it, but I think it's something that we're going to be able to use a little bit more in the future. But I just wanted to test it out. So I'm going to fast forward here a little bit. As you can see, you can make it look really full if you do it right. Now, the only problem is it looks kind of off now, having this big green thing in front of the temple. And I was like, you know what? We're going to have to do something. Now, I did have plans that I wanted to do something right here in the middle. So this section is gonna be the start but not completed. Okay, I think that's the best way that I can kind of describe it. It is a start, but it's not completed, but it is the start. But I wanted to go around here, so it took me a moment to get the right distance of everything. I want everything to feel just right. So what I did, I just went around in an L shape first. I was testing the new stall, as you can see, and I kind of like this, but I didn't ended up going in this direction. I think the stalls, I want to use them in another section of this base. I have an idea for those, but once I put this here, I was like, okay, all right, everything is working. I'm liking the feel. I'm expanding here, doing here, couple trials and error, but I was like, okay. I see the vision. I think we need something in front of it, not just the green. So what I did, I do like the walkway, so I added the pillars again, and now what we're doing, adding glass. I think the glass texture here worked out really well. Instead of a wall, instead of the Japanese stuff, I think glass kind of gave you a nice little thing, because it's kind of nice to see the vines behind it. Now, once I did this, I noticed that the other sections are too tall, so we're gonna take that out. So we're gonna expand it here. Now, I did block the other oil rig spot that to extract. I don't think I'm gonna put a second one on this base. I know, production oil, Jersey, you need it. It's okay. I'm going for aesthetics here too, but we're keeping one. We're keeping one. I decided to take out the tall part, and then I like it when I was taking it out, and then I decided, you know what, I'm gonna start fresh. I'm gonna take all of them out, and then I'm gonna put from inside the glass facing the oil machine, I'm gonna put vines. So you can see I did put the vines, but now they're on the inside, right? Not where the stall or the walkways are. I really like the way that looks. Now, I was more strategic this time. I left more space right over here, and I added some of the pillars, and we're not gonna go all the way high this time. We're gonna make it a little shorter, kind of like this, and I think this looks really nice. Again, now it's a mix. I had to compromise and come to a happy medium. Not that I'm gonna cover everything, but it's better than nothing, and I just want this beautiful aesthetic to appear here and not just be this mess either of vines everywhere. So I tested it out. I like this here. Then I added a little bit extra vines on the top, but the smaller version, so it feels like the vines are taking over the pillars slowly, and that's how they're branching out into the glass panels, and we're connecting it. And you see it looks clean on one side, very green on the inside, and I really like this combination. And this has to be, to me, and I'm gonna be honest here, one of the most proudest moments in my history building in Palworld, because it's not building a house, it's not building a temple or this or anything like that, building a fortress. Those things, yeah, they take planning, but coming up with an idea to hide something like this, not inside a building, while you already got building in and around it, I was so obsessed. I was so obsessed to make this area feel good and look good, and that's all I wanted. So then we added this little the Japanese roofing, because that way it feels kind of connected, leading you somewhere over here. I think the contrast with the background looks really great. We took out the step stones. We added the new ones with the rails, adding that extra nice contrast with the wood. I went ahead, added all these benches over here. At the end of the corner, we adding another one of this green to add this little vine effect, bush style growing on this corner over here. And then here we go, we're doing the walkthrough, and what a difference. Oh my word. Like, I remember when we got the update, the Sakura update, and we were excited, but we didn't get any of the Japanese stuff. And I was like, oh, but I still wanted something, because we're like in the Japanese side of the island, and we did this temple. It never did justice to my vision, and now we got it. This, I'm so happy that this second upgrade for this base, this area looks so good. We got, again, on the very, very top tier, we have all the power units, right? Then the third tier, we got the hot spring. Then the second level, we got where all the pals, the bedroom, that is where they're sleeping. And then the bottom where they're doing all their own farming for food. And look at this underground. This looks great. Look at the oil rig over there. Nice. It's just kind of hidden in this beautiful green paradise. I really like this. Everything just going. I love the feel. I love the sunlight and the shadows. Everything is just working together. I wish I could have put the large hot spring all the way around the temple. Now, if you build this whole temple inside the circle, that's the best way to go. That I will tell you 100%. Go in that direction. But if you can, if you did it like me, halfway the circle or a little bit sections outside the circle, then go ahead. Don't forget to turn off. Go to your world setting. Make sure that deterioration when you build outside the circle is turned off, because you don't want things to break down over time. This house over here, this whole house is gonna get redone, so don't you worry. We're gonna match all this. And you see the fortress over there, that's the next big project we're gonna have to redo. But I love, look at the connection here. This, I'm just so happy. I'm so happy. This is this space is taking a lot of planning, a lot of thinking, a lot of brainstorming, a lot of trial and error. But it's worth it. I think it's been worth it, and it makes me very happy to see this. I love seeing the green vines just coming up off the ground. And then I love this hallway right over here. This hallway effect. Again, some of this stuff, it just happens. It's just the evolution of the build. But I love that we were able to kind of plan it. Okay, I think I may actually want to do like a little stone walk, kind of maybe lead it up to here just a little bit. I don't know how we want to do that, but I want to do that. Look at the hot springs over here. Look at the view over here when you look all the way to the top. I love the way we're hiding. I still may tweak a little bit the backside. I don't know if I really like the vines a little bit on the top on those pillars. I may take them off to leave it more brown. I think I may like that just to create a little more contrast. I love the vines, how you try to look through the glass and you can't see it. Like, I really love that. And then we come over here. Now, all of this, like I mentioned, we were trying to cover the oil rig because we wanted to look nice. But all those steps will probably go away eventually. We're gonna connect this area. Maybe we make it one solid piece. Don't know yet. Don't know how this is gonna transition. I have an idea, but I gotta try it out first. To see if we're gonna like it. Now we're gonna go on this direction. I like that we can go up over here. And then we're gonna go down right over here. And then we're gonna go up again. I really like how all this transitioning is working. Again, I had to take all the pals out for the final walkthrough because I didn't want you guys to see all the pals in the way or all the information. But this is where the pals are sleeping right now. Right here, this is their home base. I am gonna move the food. I don't want the food to be here. I'm gonna move the food somewhere else. I sometimes do that on purpose because I want the pals to go to different areas, not always in the same location, even though it's working. I just want them to go to different areas. On the walkways here, I'm leaving some of the doors open on purpose to make it look different compared with the second room on the top. This is where you're walking, so I do prefer that. Look at the beautiful view. Right now, this is the kind of like a sunset going on. This looks really nice. Now, you see that building over there? That's the fortress right there in front of us. That is gonna get a whole revamp so it can match the atmosphere here. Now, we still want to leave it like a fortress, so I think a lot of the stone part is gonna stay. It's just changing a lot of the wood to make it match the Japanese theme that we're going over here. On this other side over here, you can see all the stuff. We got the statue over here. We're gonna walk back, and now we're gonna go to the third floor, and that is where the other hot spring, the smaller version of the hot springs, are at. Again, this is a functional base. All my pals can go in all the different levels, and that is done on purpose because I love to see that when the pals are over here and see how the glass looks. I really like the glass. I just feel like it's like, wow, you can see the area. If it's not your thing, please make sure you can just change it completely. You can do the Japanese theme wall, just make it feel that you want. The Parthenon over there, that is actually, it's a little crooked. I am gonna fix that. I had to take it all down and rebuild it. It's just a little too crooked to the side for my liking, so I'm gonna have to redo that as well. So that is part of the project of the base. That house up there is gonna be redone. The other house by the waterfall over there, that is gonna be redone. We wanna those are gonna be cool builds because it's just being able to build another house so you guys can have it. So and to add it to your bases or future bases. So I think it's gonna be fun to do that. But look at this. I love the way this area is finally, and I like that it's now uniform, right? Slowly working together. But here's the sunrise, guys. I want to say, first of all, thank you so much for watching, and please do not forget to hit that like button right now if you haven't, if you made it to this end, because it motivates me to go and keep creating beautiful bases for all of you here and functional bases here in Palworld. Subscribe to the channel so you don't miss anything that we do related to Palworld or anything else that we do on the channel, and I'll see you all on the next one. All right, guys, see you later. Bye.